A fascinating story is coming out at the moment from Istanbul, and one of the journalists on the plane with Erdogan explained that when it was suddenly announced that Netanyahu was going to accompany Trump to the summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, the presidential aircraft carrying Erdogan, which was about to land in Egypt, suddenly took off and was rerouted back to Istanbul. Then it was announced that Netanyahu was not in fact going to attend, and the plane was returned back to its original flight path and has landed in Egypt, and Erdogan is en route to Sharm el-Sheikh now. It is extraordinary. I'm sure this will become clearer as the day progresses and as interviewers put their questions directly to Mr. Erdogan, either after or before the conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. But nobody seems to want to be in the same room with a person who is accused of criminal activity, who is accused of genocide, and who has become a sort of pariah in the world community. It doesn't matter whether he's lauded by President Trump or whether he's called a victor in this war against Hamas or not. He has been excoriated by the world community and identified as somebody who has pursued a vicious and a vengeful war against a largely civilian population. And that civilian population, as is now demonstrated by the resurgence of Hamas in the last day or so, is very much under the thumb of the Hamas overlords, and anybody who gets out of line is punished. People are being lined up in the street and beaten or executed for alleged participation in pro-Israeli actions or for not towing the Hamas line. You know, this is a harsh regime, and in the West we think that if you don't like the government, you can speak out against it. Well, we can in the UK, unless you're Tommy Robinson, in which case you're constantly in prison for doing so. But you can't in a repressive regime like Gaza, and you can't in a repressive regime like the one that is now dominating Russia. People cannot speak out against this sort of tyranny.